Hello, I'm James BFF and welcome to our new series Founder Facials, where we go into the treatment room with some of our favourite business owners to pick their brain as I pick their skin. So today I am joined by my very, very dear friend and business inspiration, Lauren Nicholls, who has a absolutely beautiful store in Albert Park. I'd like to know, in your business, is there a particular product or category that is just a go-to for your customer?
I think we try and cater for everyone's needs. So, event dress, sure, casual, mum on duty, like everything's there. And we have put a focus on our new category, which is fine jewels. It's not fast fashion, it's special, they're forever pieces. We're all pretty excited about it. So I'd say at the moment, that's the hype.
You have done this incredible renovation and you wanted to create this moment in the store.
Yeah, I also wanted it to be relaxed. Like, let's have a play, let's try it on, try some shoes, get dressed up, put it on. It's dress ups, it's, it's secret women's business, what goes on in there, and it's a lot of fun.
Is there advice that has been passed down to you that has shaped the way you do business?
I feel like, they're a bit stiff in the fashion industry, and I think, the cowboy approach in innovation is definitely what drives the fashion industry. I think some of those stuffy old rules just don't apply, so I tend to ignore them.
So I believe that you are very much doing things your way. Things are also very much working in your favour, and doesn't that just become the motivation to keep following your heart when it comes to business?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit scary, and sometimes I'd love someone to step in and tell me what's right and what's wrong. But it's also the exciting part about business. You don't know. Keeps you real, keeps the anxiety levels.
I agree. It's the mistakes you make that you learn from. Like everyone in business, I will agree with that. There's always value in the mistakes. So when it comes to caring for clients' skin, we believe that sunscreen is at the top of the pile. And so it's a tool we use to really help people achieve often their skin goals. Is there a business tool that you use that you think is pivotal in the success of your client interactions or the way you run your business?
Giving our customers and our clients the confidence for individual style, sort of building their own wardrobe, not just putting them in a trend that's going to date them and make them feel generic. I think we're really sort of encouraging our customers to get a great wardrobe together that reflects that.
You have an appreciation that everyone that walks through your door is unique, right?
Yes.
And you have to tap into why they've walked through the door, right? Like you can have a preconceived notion that, I think this woman's going to look great in this, but if it's not actually what they want, it's not what they're looking for.
They might buy it, they'll never wear it, and they'll never feel good. So I definitely love getting to the reason why they're in there. Is it just to buy a dress for an event, or do they need to feel sort of, a certain way? And I love profiling and asking all those questions.
But you also, I guess, too, have a responsibility, but also, I'm sure, enjoy actually making people realise things that they didn't know that they potentially wanted or needed, or people can have a very regimented perception of what looks good on them or what they're comfortable in.
I find that really sort of satisfying part of the job. I know it sounds silly, but also, women that have gone from the workforce to being a mum, how they dress daily, that makes them feel good. It's sort of, their new uniform.
It's got nothing to do with fashion, it's got nothing to do with skin. It's about building these great relationships, empowering our customers, and sharing your love of what you do with them. I've got more questions for Loz, but let's get her on the treatment bed and give her some love at the same time. Are you decent?
I am. I think this is my happy place, James.
So it must be said that I would walk into your store pre-renovation and what would I say?
Oh, we were all terrified. When you walked into the store, you didn't hold back. You would point out all the things that needed to be fixed, done. I think at one stage I think I got scolded because there may have been some sort of IKEA rack or accessory in there.
Yeah, there was.
There was. So yeah, I think you also, I loved coming into your beautiful place, and I really felt like it was for the clients. They got to enjoy it, so I wanted to give back to my customers and make sure they felt like they were shopping in a beautiful space that was made for them.
I think I just always knew that there was a better store waiting waiting for you that would house your gorgeous clothes and also your beautiful staff, and you had to do it in your own time, but you did not do it lightly. No, you've done an extraordinary renovation.
My first child had a glow up.
You've really elevated the shopping experience. And what's the feedback been like to your customer?
Oh, they just love it. You know, they haven't been in for a while, and it's a moving space. It's exciting. We wanted to make sure that bricks and mortar became, you know, a sensory experience, and we want people to stay, touch, play, feel, just enjoy their time with us.
You're absolutely doing all of your brands and all of your beautiful pieces justice by having it backdropped by this incredibly designed and curated store. It's something you should be very, very proud of. So as I mentioned before, your journey has seen you through being a multi-store business to now having one flagship. I'm sure there's a big journey in terms of how you got from 3 to 1.
I think it was sort of organic, but at the end of the day, it was about making sure one store was performing just at an optimum and putting all our energy into making the main store the best it could be. And until that was running beautifully, I didn't want to sort of dilute anyone's time into other projects. And, you know, in business, something someone told me was, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Mm-hmm. And I think you also see that. You see all these opportunities and you're like, oh, I could do that, but doesn't necessarily mean that you should, I guess. So I'm very happy just concentrating on Stable and making it, you know, like it's always tweaking it and making it exciting and fresh for everyone that comes in all the time.
When people ask me, you know, would you have another store? I mean, I had my Sydney clinic, and it was a labour of love, but it was something that would keep me up at night. So I was very, very happy when I shut that down.
Yeah.
But I know now that I would never want a second location. What I want is just my main location to be the very best version of itself. Yeah. And if that continues to get bigger, that's fantastic. I don't need a second location or a third location to make me feel like,
yeah, I mean,
I've got a better business. You have built a customer over decades that know you and trust you and respect you and support you, right? It's like starting from scratch. Even when I did a pop-up at the Ovalo, like, yes, there were people that were booking in because they could have a treatment with me, but I wasn't nearly as booked up there as I was here, because essentially I was like, this is just like opening another location.
Yeah.
And we know it takes a long time for people to find you. And I think when you're used to...
Trust you as well.
Trust you. And I think when you're... Well, I don't know. I'm used to a certain level of productivity, and I'm here to help people. So I've got no interest in kind of starting from scratch again, really. I often get people on the north side say to me, I'd come to you if you opened a clinic over here. Yeah. And I think, what, you want me to open a clinic on the other side of the river so that you will come, but you won't get in your car and drive over the river to come and see us? Like, no. You know, like, Melbourne's not a big city, and I think if people really want to come to you, they will travel.
Yeah, look, we've tried to make Stable a destination.
I think some things you want to be very local, and then there are some things like a fashion store, like a facial, that you could get in your car and you can go and make a day of it and turn it into an experience.
Like you're on holidays.
So in our industry, particularly post-COVID, we noticed a lot of businesses closing down, unfortunately. And I also know a lot of great fashion stores that unfortunately have closed down for I'm sure, a multitude of different reasons. You guys haven't, and I think we owe a lot of that to the value of village shopping. You know, you're in such a great village. I feel like it's in these locations where businesses are really, really thriving. And I'd like to know why you think Stables is actually flourishing when, unfortunately, some others are not so much.
We were definitely supported by our community, and that, you know, that I felt that love in COVID, and for me that was enough to keep going and trying. You know, we learnt some new tricks out of COVID. Looking back, it was probably a really, you know, it was kind of an exciting time as well as awful.
There was so many opportunities in COVID if you were open to them, if you know, had that entrepreneurial spirit, if you weren't too busy homeschooling your children or, you know, navigating all that sort of stuff. But you definitely took your social media up a notch. It became a very, very visual experience for you, which you've got to think is such a no-brainer, right? But people want to see what you're wearing, people want to see what you've got, and it's just another selling tool, right? So Lauren, tell me about your skin. What, if anything, troubles you?
I get all inspired after I come and see your girls, and they're so terrific. And then the wheels fall off a little bit, or the one product disappears, I can't find it, and I'm back to just, you know, basic home care.
Is there any aspects of your skin you wish could be better, or you're pretty happy?
I feel like it could be hydrated a lot more. I want that JB glow every day.
I'm giving it to you. Your skin's clean, it's hydration-wise, it's good. I know you do a lot of swimming, and all that is very, very good for the soul. It's also good for the skin as well. Just some beginning signs of some sun damage through here. You're getting a few precancerous lesions around here, so they're going to flake and not look so great, but they're things you can have treated with by a doctor. And just the vascularity that comes through with your skin. I know when you eat certain foods or feel a bit nervous or, you know, having too much fun, that's something too that you just need to be mindful of, because it's probably, I always say the skin is going to show you what it's going to do, right? So those sorts of things can become more pronounced, like it is down on the chest area. So let's keep this a little bit cared for as well. Sunscreen always from the forehead down to the bust. So at JV, we work very hard at trying to put ourselves out there as a very inclusive business, being a clinic that cares for skins of all colours, genders, cultures and religions. In your business, what effort do you put in to try to create an inclusive environment and a inclusive offering?
We have 3, sometimes 4 generations coming in together and all shopping at Stable.
Oh,
and
I love that.
So, you know, I try and have this great new brand, Anna October, and it's super cute. I think it's from the Ukraine, and it's amazing, for formals. It's hot. It's great. I love it. So great for the young girls as well, for their school formals. But then I also try and make sure I've got, you know, chic mother of the bride outfits, or, you know, travel wardrobes for, you know, people on their 6-month retired Euro tours. I try and make sure that everyone can come in and all shop in the same destination. It's style. It's not age.
So Loz, bit of a two-parter. I want to know, since 2005 when you opened your first store, how would you say that your role as a business owner has changed? And also, how has your style evolved?
My role has changed in part, but I do love, like you say, being on the tools. I enjoy it.
You thrive off that.
I do.
You're a natural born salesperson.
It's a genuine sell. It's not a it's not Amway.
No, by no means. But like we can't discount the fact that essentially what we're doing is we're partnering our clients with product that they have asked us to do, right? And there's a way that you can do it which is very genuine, which is very fun, which is very creative, and that's what you've mastered, in my opinion. So being on the shop floor is so important for you to know exactly what your customers are saying and what they need. You can get that feedback from your staff, but there's nothing like getting it firsthand. I was in a similar situation earlier this year. I felt a really big disconnect. I hadn't been in the treatment room for 3 years and I was starting to get imposter syndrome, thinking, you know, what do I actually know? I don't know what I'm talking about. I've got to put my money where my mouth is. And so I've really enjoyed reconnecting with the treatments and being in that position of hearing what clients are needing at the moment. And it also very much, I think, puts me on the same playing field as all my colleagues here, you know, so that we're all treating dermal clinicians and we can all have those sorts of conversations and we're all on the same page. It's not me leading from the top, telling people how to look after the skin when I'm not doing it anymore. And what about your personal style and the evolution around that? You know that you are like essentially modeling the clothes that you have on offer at Stables, and you're leaning into the fact that by being the best representation of your business, that's having a positive effect, right?
Totally. I think there's so many, you know, new trends and looks that come out and everyone's seeing so much product now from social media. I feel like what I'm doing is just tapping into the trends that I think is sort of more conducive to the lifestyle and maybe age appropriate of my customers.
You would say that at Stables, we're not following trends. We actually are the trendsetters.
It's a fine line. Sometimes I bring my customer what I know that they need and love, and sometimes I like to challenge them a little bit and show them something new. So it's definitely all comes into the equation when I'm buying.
It's that unique flair that you bring that sets you apart, that becomes the point of difference. So just like the beauty industry, there's aspects of it that I very much don't like, and I think that we have the ability to affect very positive change on people's appearance as well as their self-confidence, but I believe there is very much a dark side to our industry. Don't want to make assumptions, but do you feel the same way about the fashion industry? And if there was one negative component of the fashion industry that you could remove yesterday, what would it be and why?
Definitely the environmental impact, as well as the sweatshops. That's definitely the well-known dark side of fashion that sort of, you know, sometimes I grapple with it, and it does fight with that beautiful, creative, you know, side of it.
And what initiatives have you put in to be on the right side of those?
With our own manufacturing, we use, you know, women-run businesses that we partner up with, and then we work with brands like Danny that are sort of really, you know, they don't use leather anymore. They use mushroom leather and quite innovating in that space. We don't do fur. Wherever we can, we're definitely trying to find that space that we can feel proud of.
One of our proudest moments this year was when we became B Corp certified, which more than anything we did as a self-audit, you know, to look at all of the areas within the way we do business, that it was aligned with best practice that is best for not just our customers, our staff, but for the environment as well. We have a green policy that we constantly are adding to all the time. So those initiatives that you mentioned that are really, really important to you and important to your customers, I'm sure are just a few of many, and we're on this journey and it's always evolving, and I think looking at ways that we can always have the best impact we can on our entire environment is so important. Lauren, since becoming a mum, how has your relationship with your business changed?
I've not really known working without being a mum. So for me it was, children came with breastfeeding, travelling. Well, at least they've seen their mum do it all.
Oh, I love that. Well, you're a worker, Lauren, right? But you also are a fantastic mother, and I don't know. I'm not a parent, but I definitely, both Ben and I very much admire the way you parent. You treat your children like equals, right? They're friends of yours. You treat them like you would want to be treated, but you're also giving them the motherly love that they need that is age appropriate. And I think you are setting a beautiful example for them.
Oh, thank you. I do enjoy them.
So one of the things I always think is hilarious about the fashion industry is how you are making decisions that don't come into fruition for a very, very long time. I'm not even in your industry and it stresses me out. Maybe it's because of Ben working constantly 12, 18 months ahead and fingers crossed it's going to come off. That is a big challenge, and obviously one that you are accustomed to and are very good at. But with everything coming for 2024 already, what are you most looking forward to? And what about some little tips or trends that you're expecting to see or maybe making happen yourself?
Look, I feel like definitely the quiet luxury trend is not going away, and that's just everyone buying smarter and investing in more sort of beautiful products that they can wear a lot of different ways. It's definitely a theme. Forget sort of trends. I feel like it's up to us. It's a bit more tweaking in your own personal style rather than obvious trends. So you're gonna have to come in and have a look. There's definitely some sort of movement in the footwear in fashion, which is fresh and new, and that will sort of set the tone for the silhouette.
Bit of JW.
There's always a bit of JW, a bit of Proenza. There's lots of exciting footwear coming through.
I think for me, I have a very, very deep connection to the things that I buy. It's like the art that I put on our walls. It's like the films I watch. I have to have a very, very kind of, for some reason, I think I have to have a very, a close reaction to it, to fall in love with it and to, become the custodian of it for however long you are. But I think sometimes if it's just not working for you, that's okay. You just put it away. You don't have to throw it out, and just know that, to rest it and come back to it later, because how you feel when you bought it is not necessarily how you're going to feel in a few weeks' time, in a few months' time, in a few years' time, but you will have those moments again where you'll be like, oh my God, that.
I'll tell you what I had to rest. Your bright yellow acne jumper that you gave me, I had to rest it for the sake of the people around me. I was wearing it all the time.
Well, I can actually get that back because I've lost weight now, so I meant to ask you to bring it. So Lauren, as we know, we do not get where we are without a truckload of determination, hard work, and looking after ourselves, and the self-care that we place importance on is so important so that we can in turn look after other people. When it comes to self-care, how do you look after yourself?
I do an ocean swim in the morning, and that really helps with my mental health, and it feels amazing. So that's something I get a bit scratchy if I don't do. I think being a business owner, it's hard to give yourself a day off, to do things. You always think you should be doing something because there is always something to be done. So putting aside that time for your skin or for a massage, it is hard, but when you do it, you do feel the benefits. So I do try to edge out that time. No one wants me around unless I'm feeling fresh and energetic.
So as a parent, if you know that these morning swims are making you a better parent, making your relationships with your children better, and probably the relationships with your staff and your customers, that's what self-care is really all about.
Absolutely, and it's not feeling guilty. I think there's this there's this stupid stoic sort of theory about being a mum and being a martyr, but I don't know who started that, because the mum guilt, it's redundant, it doesn't help anyone. I think, you know, once you acknowledge that, you probably can be a better mum if you're not sort of just trying to please everyone all the time. It leaves nothing for yourself, and that's not a good version of yourself.
And it's cutting out all the noise that's out there, people's perceptions of what you should be doing and how you should be parenting. It all has to come from you in a very genuine, nurturing and positive way.
Absolutely, and I think women being honest with one another as well, instead of sort of just painting this falsehood of what a mum should be like. I think that's really outdated, because women are very different these days, what we're expected to do. There's so much pressure on us, you know. We're working, we're meant to look good, we're meant to, you know, it's actually quite extraordinary. So I think that's being touched on a lot in the media these days, and it's just being kind to yourself is really important.
Is there something that I have taught you about your skin over the years that resonated with you, that helps you when you step into the bathroom?
Definitely. I mean, you're in the back of my mind every day with your the sunscreen. So I'm really trying to be better at it, and giving myself that time. And it doesn't take long, but once you get into the rhythm, it becomes a habit, and a really good habit.
We can't do everything perfectly every single day. I also don't do my routine every single day, but I try to do it, and when I do it, I love it. I definitely notice a physical and a emotional benefit to it, and so all I can ever ask is that you try. So thanks for trying.
I'm giving it a go, everyone.
Well, Loz, thanks so much for coming and entrusting me with your wisdom and your being so open and honest about who you are as a businesswoman and as a person. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.